First this morning to find out more about our day as we plan ahead weather-wise, checking in with Fox 10 News meteorologist Jennifer Lambers. And Jennifer, drier this morning compared to the last couple of mornings, but things are going to change.
That's exactly right. Today is almost upside down in comparison to what we've been seeing for the past few days. That we started off soggy in the mornings, it turned more isolated in the afternoons. Today is not the case.
Today we're isolated in the morning and then soggy this afternoon.
Exactly. There we go. See, you got it. So keep that in mind in case you do have any of those plans. I know that you were mentioning just sports practices, games heading into tonight. Those will likely be impacted.
Okay.
Yeah, so make sure you're checking in with any of the coaches out there just because we could possibly see more of those showers or thunderstorms later on today. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we're tracking out there. And really all of that rain, it moved away from us. Now our neighbors closer towards central to northern Mississippi, even Alabama, getting some of that much needed rainfall. We've been the ones that have almost been hogging some of that rain just here for the past few days. We're really just knocking out our drought conditions. Hopefully we'll get an updated look at that drought monitor map heading into tomorrow, but we're starting off mostly quiet to begin. So it is nice to actually go outside, look up. You can start to see the stars out there, some of those mostly clear skies. Really the majority of those isolated rain showers to start off for this morning, staying isolated closer towards coastal Mississippi, just pushing in closer towards Pascagoula and Biloxi, Petty Boy Island and Horn Island, just seeing some of that rainfall. But us here in the Fox viewing area, it's quiet. Also, we're starting off with great visibility out there. We saw it knocked down for the past few days. We had some fog out there. We had the rain and some low-hanging clouds. Now it's going to be a clear drive in case you're stepping out the door anytime soon. Those temperatures still a little bit on the mild side, beginning in the mid to upper 60s and the lower 70s. This is not how we should be feeling as you're stepping out the door. Instead, we should be seeing some of the upper 40s, the lower 50s. But the good news, we'll start to see some of those temperatures once we get closer towards the weekend. Now, the rain chances as we get further on into the rest of today, they'll only continue to tick up later on this afternoon, especially after 4 o'clock, expecting that to really go up. But coming up in just a little bit, I'll be timing that out on your Futurecast and detailing what you can expect heading into the weekend. Those details are coming up soon. Sarah. Taking another look at your forecast and a beautiful start to this Wednesday down in Orange Beach. The good news is now that we're seeing less of those rain showers to begin, we're actually starting to see some of that sunshine as we're beginning your morning. Still some clouds out there, so it's limiting that visibility just a little bit, but also just starting to see some of those nice bright colors all across the Gulf Coast. And just a reminder, a great way to stay updated with the forecast, what we're tracking out there in case we do see any of those stronger storms heading into today, is going to be by downloading the Fox 10 weather app. Now we'll send you those push alerts directly to your phone. You can watch our coverage right in the palm of your hands in case there are any of those severe thunderstorm warnings heading further on into this evening. But as mentioned, in case there are any tornado warnings, as that threat is low, but it's not zero. I'll explain in just a little bit. Plus also in case you see any of those pretty colors out there with that sunrise, we always want to see your photos. If you just scroll down and submit your pics and videos, you can share them right there. Shelby and Lee do a great job at sharing what you submit on Fox 10 Live at 3 o'clock. But let's go ahead and talk more about your forecast. So current conditions out there, just seeing some of those lower to mid 70s. Really look at the difference in humidity. Mid 70s for those dew points in Gulf Shores. Not feeling the best, feeling a bit more sticky, but those mid 60s closer towards Pensacola. As mentioned, it's starting off mostly quiet to begin for this morning. Just some cloud cover, but really starting to see some of those peaks of clear skies out there, some sunshine to begin. And we'll stay isolated once we get closer towards mid to late morning. We're starting to see some of those showers just lifting up from the south. Quick moving, more of that Gulf moisture. That's also going to be increasing our humidity out there. And so that mixed with daytime heating, temperatures in the mid 70s, our instability is only going up. And so we have a sharp cold front, more of that drastic front, some difference in those conditions that's going to be moving in later on this afternoon and this evening. So right there creates the potential for some of those stronger storms, really going to be impacting your evening commute, picking up the kids from school, sports practices, games possibly being impacted now that we're putting that lightning risk in there. So just be a heads up that you could possibly see those cancellations heading into tonight. More of that rain coverage continuing further on into this evening and overnight. But what I really want to point out is this. Now, this is going to be our tornado index. Now, what this does is it puts all of the ingredients together that tornadoes need for some of that development, and it puts it on a map for us. Now, this does not mean it's going to happen. It just means that the conditions are favorable for it. And as we make our way later on into this evening, we really start to see some of those colors beginning to light up. But even then, it's still low tier on the scale. We're not getting up closer towards those 8s and those 10s. We're more at that 2 level range. So although it is low, it's still possible. But again, we'll keep you updated throughout the overnight hours, really looking to be past that midnight for that highest threat as it continues to push across the Gulf Coast. But we need all of those conditions to come together. But even then, the SPC really is putting that higher risk just on the west side of Mobile Bay. Once you really take into account some of that daytime heating out there, still expecting the potential for some stronger storms, some gusty winds, frequent lightning, heavy downpours within any of that. But again, just stay updated with us. Have a way to get alerts later on this evening for any of those potential watches or warnings. Not quite expecting any of that watches, possibly just some severe thunderstorm warnings later on this evening. Now, forecast highs, temperature is going to be maxing out in the mid 70s out there. The rip curl risk, it is going to be high for today and tomorrow. It drops to low by the weekend. And here's a quick look at your 10-day outlook. Things look better by the end of the week and into the weekend. Look at those morning temperatures, but also look ahead to next week. Daytime highs possibly in the 60s. Models are staying consistent with that scenario, so it's going to be feeling a lot better the weekend before Thanksgiving. I'll talk more about your forecast coming up in our 6 a.m. hour, but for now, here's a live view outside in Fairhope.
Check in with Jen.
And taking another look at your forecast in case you're stepping out the door anytime soon. Don't forget that rain gear. You're going to be finding yourself needing it later on this afternoon and this evening. But temperatures will be a bit mild and muggy by the second half of today, seeing those temperatures maxing out a little bit above average in the mid 70s with that humidity only ticking up. I'm going to talk more about your forecast and timing out those rain chances for this afternoon and overnight coming up in our 6 a.m. hour. We'll be back after this.
Jennifer Lambers, she has a look at today's weather forecast, and she's calling it an upside-down weather day.
That's exactly right. Yeah, in comparison to what we've been seeing for the past few days, we start off soggy in the mornings. It turns more isolated in the afternoon and the evenings. Instead, we're starting off quiet to begin for today, and we're mainly going to be